For someone so young, Willow Smith has managed to break barriers and stir up more than her fair share of controversy. From dropping off tours to being able to control time, these are the moments Willow will never live down. Willow Smith broke out onto the music scene in 2010 when her debut single, Whip My Hair, went viral. She was just 9 years old at the time, but her success was instant. The record was certified platinum and even got her a Guinness World Record as the youngest artist to have a top 20 single in both the US and UK. As exciting as this was, the newfound fame required a lot from the young star.
It's like 50% work and like 102% fun.
Unfortunately, the truth was darker than that. The following year, Smith was the opener for Justin Bieber's My World Tour in the UK, but she was suffering from panic attacks and wanted to drop out of the Australian leg. When her dad wouldn't let her, she shaved her head in protest and refused to create new songs. As she told NME, "I was extremely done with music after that." Smith did eventually return to the recording studio, but that negative experience has stuck with her. As she told L'Officiel USA in 2021, she disliked Whip My Hair for a long time and tried to forget all about it. She even refused to listen to it. She eventually learned to embrace the track as an important part of her career, but that doesn't take away from the hardships she says it put her through. Speaking with The Independent in 2022, she mused that at the time, she didn't have an appreciation for the hard work artistic success required of an individual. When an 11-year-old Willow Smith gave everyone the proverbial finger by shaving her head in 2012 following the massive success of Whip My Hair, it was her parents who received serious flack. As Jada Pinkett Smith recalled on a 2020 episode of her Facebook Watch talk show, Red Table Talk, it was the first time she was the target of mom shaming. Indeed, social media was inundated with folks criticizing Jada as well as Will Smith for allowing their daughter to cut off her locks and criticizing Willow simply for her new look. As Willow shared on the show, it was just one instance in which she felt like she didn't fit in with her peers. She explained how she felt that she and her brother were shunned by the Black community for being what she described as too weird.
Even some of our family members, I would feel they thought you're too different.
In 2022, Willow once again opened up about the power of hair while speaking with Glamour UK. She explained that cutting her hair was one of the most extreme measures she's taken for her appearance, saying, "As a Black woman, there were a lot of layers to my relationship with my hair and skin growing up. It was definitely a learning curve." Despite having a difficult introduction to music, Willow Smith eventually returned, and in 2013, she even started a side project. Teaming up with producer Music to form Melodic Chaotic, she released a catchy but eyebrow-raising single called Summer Fling. Though only 12 at the time, Smith sang about going on dates and having a summertime romance, which many found to be inappropriate. With lyrics that alluded to various levels of physical and emotional intimacy, many questioned the age appropriateness of the track. Criticism only grew for the song after the music video came out, in which Smith is joined by a cast that appears to be much older than her. While she and her love interest only hug and hold hands, many were still bothered by it. Some questioned whether the young singer was even aware of the topics she was singing about, while others criticized the music and film industry at large for creating an environment where a project like this could happen. As human behavior expert Dr. Patrick Wanis pointed out to Fox News, this is totally inappropriate and not in line with the developmental physical, mental, or emotional stages of a 12-year-old girl. If the public thought Willow Smith would pivot her online presence in response to the criticism surrounding Summer Fling, they had another thing coming. In 2014, at the age of 13, the singer decided to pose in a series of moody black and white photographs with her friend Hannah Montana actor Moises Arias. The images quickly stirred up major controversy as Smith posed in bed with a then 20-year-old Arias. As E! Reported, the photo was part of a larger post made on Arias' blog and also featured pictures with Willow's brother Jaden, as well as Kendall and Kylie Jenner. Jada Pinkett Smith defended the shoot, telling TMZ the problem was with critics, not with her daughter. She said, "There was nothing sexual about that picture or that situation. You guys are projecting your trash onto it." Despite Jada's response, TMZ went one step further and reached out to multiple law enforcement sources to ask if the photo potentially raised any legal concerns. Even these efforts proved fruitless for the outlet, as they were told the photo was not sexual enough to be criminal. Even so, journalists and parents alike continued to take issue with the photo and choice of location. As Willow Smith herself admitted on Red Table Talk, she hasn't always fit in, and her tendency to be an outlier was on full display in 2014 when she and her brother Jaden gave New York Times Tea magazine what may be one of the most bizarre interviews ever. Among the 14-year-old Willow's many headline-making professions in the interview, one that stood out was her claim that she could control the speed at which time passes, claiming that power made her sure time as a concept was not real. The teen also told the outlet she was reading books by controversial Indian philosopher Osho and volumes on quantum physics. In another eyebrow-raising portion of the interview, Willow and a 16-year-old Jaden also slammed traditional learning. Being homeschooled at the time, Jaden and Willow observed that students who attend more traditional schools are often exhausted and unmotivated. Willow went on to reflect about the 1 year she spent in traditional school, saying, "It was the best experience because I was like, oh, now I know why kids are so depressed, but it was the worst experience because I was depressed." It seems no topic is off limits on Red Table Talk, and as Willow and Jada Pinkett Smith have shown on multiple occasions, there's not much they won't discuss with each other. Case in point, a 17-year-old Willow admitted on a 2018 episode that she once caught her parents getting intimate.
My introduction to sex was obviously walking in on you and Daddy.
Having no recollection of the incident, Jada asked for details. In response, Willow explained that it happened while on holiday in Aspen, Colorado. As she was walking downstairs for a drink, she caught a glimpse of her parents in the act before quickly running away, riddled with shock and confusion. Mother and daughter broached even more sex talk in 2019 when they explored polyamory on the show. In the interview, Willow told her mother that she was attracted to both men and women and that she would like to be with individuals from both of those genders simultaneously. Stating that she prioritizes emotional connection, she elaborated that she wasn't constantly in search of sexual thrills and that she would likely keep the relationship exclusive beyond the 3 partners. For her part, Jada was all for her daughter being part of a throuple. Being no stranger to romantic entanglements with multiple people at once, Jada even admitted she could see herself having a 3-person relationship. Since her initial hiatus from the music scene in 2012, Willow Smith has faced more than a few speed bumps in her music career. In one particular instance of a performance gone awry, she probably could have learned a thing or two from actor Gal Gadot's controversial attempt at releasing a cover before committing to doing the same. Back in March 2020, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Gadot spearheaded a video of celebrities singing John Lennon's Imagine, which was quickly torn apart for being totally out of touch and in poor taste. 2 years later, Smith would meet a similar musical fate while working on a project for W magazine, alongside Zendaya and Kiernan Shipka, with whom she appeared on the magazine's cover in 2016. Smith was invited to perform the classic David Bowie song Changes in celebration of what would have been the artist's 75th birthday. They agreed, but bizarrely half-sang, half-read the track's lyrics, which resulted in a barrage of negative feedback. Folks were quick to bash the clip, which W magazine posted to Instagram. Viewers left some seriously brutal feedback in the video's comments section, with one writing, "Been a while since I wished I was deaf." Other critics called the performance cringe and an abomination. Luckily, at that point in her career, Smith's musical catalog was plenty large enough to fall back on in the face of the backlash. Willow Smith added author to her resume with her debut fantasy novel Black Shield Maiden, which is set to be released in May 2024. Co-written with Jess Hendel, it tells the story of a young female warrior who is kidnapped into slavery and sent from her native Africa to live with the Vikings. Penguin Books promoted the release by publishing an excerpt in February 2022, but it was not met with the response they likely expected. The excerpt read in part, "The Amazi are dangerous on their best day. They have little regard for anyone who doesn't worship the Muslim god, and even their own tribes are always at war with one another." This depiction had critics calling foul and accusing Smith and Hendel of Islamophobia. As journalist Rania Katani explained in a scathing op-ed for The Gazelle, the Amazi people are not a fantasy creation, but a real indigenous people who call North Africa home and did not identify with their depiction in the novel. Katani went so far as to say that she would, quote, "rather stay erased by Western narratives than see cultures like the Amazi so radically misrepresented." Unsurprisingly, online blowback was harsh. Several critics took to Twitter to assert that the Amazi people are actually a very peaceful community, and to affirm that Smith's portrayal of them in Black Shield Maiden was wildly inaccurate.